All right. Welcome back to the hood. This is Chill in the Green Box with Specks, Thompson, and the View. And like always, my co-host fails to show up. This time, he's talking about he can't make it because it's raining and storming outside. And I'm like, what's going on? You don't even drive, so why does it matter if you can't make it in the weather? But he didn't show up. But thanks Camo for being on here anyway. Thank you.
It's an honor being on here, man. It's my pleasure being on here with you, man.
All right.
We like to discuss the comics and the industry. It's a very relevant thing to do in this era of time.
Yeah. And for the people who don't know who you are, give them a brief introduction, who you are and what you do.
Okay, my name is Camo. Originally, my name is Folorunsho Olanraju Abdul Malik, but most people call me Camo. And then I'm a comic creator. I'm a publisher. I create my first comics is Detective D, and then I have other series that they're on SM app. Most of the comics are on SM app. For some of my works. Yeah, so you can always go on there to check some of my works, Dirty D, Afro Ninja, and some other works on there.
Okay. So, being that you're from you're from overseas, and so you don't get the reference of the show. So my show is called Chill in the Green Box. Over
Okay.
here in America, talking to other guests, that's in America, it seems like it's more of a Southern American thing. There's
Okay.
these green electrical boxes, that sits in front of neighborhoods, and as children, we would like hang around them and sit on them and hang out with your friends and just chit chat. So I base my show off of that. So this show just like that, we're going back, hanging out and chilling with your friends and breaking things down, concepts and ideas. That's why I wanted my show to be about, because I've been on other podcast shows, and it just be like 2 hours of a creator talking about their book, and you know nothing about the creator and nothing for you to support them in anything. So I developed my show so we learn more about the creator and have people give people a reason to support you.
All right. Thank you very much. Thanks for doing that for the culture.
Yeah, no problem, man. So my show's based off of 4 different segments, and my first segment is called breaking it down, because while you chill in that green box, you break things down. So
Yeah, yeah.
I'm gonna break your brain down with a couple icebreaker questions so people know more about you.
Okay. I'm ready
All
for
right.
that.
All right. So
Yeah.
my first question. Uh what makes you laugh the hardest?
What makes me laugh the hardest? Um, Let me see. Maybe a mind blowing scene in an animation or something.
Okay.
Wow, what? Kind of
Mm-hmm.
stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Makes me really laugh so hard, man.
So like when you say animation, you mean like an old cartoon like Looney Tunes, Buzz Bunny, something like that?
Dogs, you must be familiar with dogs, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, dogs, I'm more of anime. I'm more of anime person though, but I watch few of American, cartoons like Dogs and some other anime comedy cartoons. And I actually some fuck with some cartoons from Nigeria like Ajaka Lost in Rome, and
Uh-oh.
like we have some other one about this Shango by Commotion Studios. So I focus on other, cartoons from all over the world, and I love those mind blowing scenes. Like where you go like, wow, how did this person create this kind of stuff?
Yeah.
Sometimes it's the sound, sometimes it's the it just puts me in the mood that makes me so laugh hard to the depth of my tummy, man.
Okay. All right. My next question. When you think about it, what makes you what makes you realize you're getting older? You make you feel that you're real old now.
Oh man, what's making me feel like I'm real old now? It's first of all, it's watching my baby grow like this, like
Yeah.
the way it's growing so fast, making me feel like a old man already. So stuff like that, and then more responsibility. Life is all about purpose and responsibility. I got to take a lot of more responsibility than when I was younger, and this makes me feel like, oh God, adulthood. Puts me in this adulthood mood. So
Yeah.
this thing gets me. It makes me feel like, yo, I'm getting older. Yeah.
Yeah, I understand. Now, I got two daughters myself, and
Oh,
and
that's good.
they just started preschool. So yeah, they finally in school. So I'm starting to feel it.
The feeling is always very great, and that's when you actually feel like, oh, I'm getting old, because you see how fast they grow. You can imagine how you grow too. Then
Yeah,
you can join that together and see.
yeah. Right now, I'm already dreading them becoming teenagers.
I wish you could go back, but that's not, you can't. So you
Yep,
just got to do life ahead.
yep. That's right. All
Yeah.
right. My last question. Um, I don't know how to break it down for you so you understand it. But I'll break it down. Um, what concept that you use it helps you decide whether to say no to something or to keep committing to doing something.
Yeah, I used to use this. I do this unconsciously. Like, I don't know when I do that, but I finally find out that this is what I do. I just First of all, I have to be blunt to myself. No lies. I have to be in that mode of, you have to tell yourself the truth right now. Then I weigh the pros and cons. You know, and I'm very blunt to myself. I'll be very blunt on the decision making, because I know any decision I make is gonna affect anything in the future. So I just weigh the pros and the cons, and most times that's what I do. And sometimes, you have this kind of intuition in you that will just tell you, like some kind of guts. I'll just tell you, well, go with this. Even if the deal is not even favorable at that particular time, your gut just keep telling you, you gotta go with that. And at the end of the day, sometimes it ends up good. So these things makes me decide maybe to say no or to say yes. And I love to work within my niche, like especially doing collaboration. Like, people come to you. I like to work with something very reasonable, you know, something very marketable, not just about we that are doing the project, but about the people that want to actually benefit from it. You know, these kind of things help me say maybe yes or no to those particular to some particular certain collaborations. So these things are the things that affect my decision making. Yes or no.
Okay. Yeah, I understand. I understand that totally. Pros and cons, because you can't be greedy all the time, so you can't just take everything. So you have to weigh it out.
Yeah,
It,
you got
it, even
like this.
even it might be beneficial. It also might be too much for you at the same time.
Yeah, like, especially when it's fucking with my peace. When I'm feeling toxic about it. I don't
Mhm.
just want to do anything relating to that. I just want to be myself at every time, at every time. I just want to be myself, working on anything with anybody.
No, okay, okay. All right, man. That's the end of that segment. It's easy icebreaker question, so people get a good feel who you is.
Mm.
Gonna move on to my next segment. And being in comic books, you'll know about this one. It's called the back issues. And typically, when people want to know about somebody's origin story, they go to their back issues. So if you want to know about, I don't know, Daredevil's origin story, you go to his back issues. So this
Yeah.
segment, we finna go to your back issues to find more about your origin story.
Oh.
Well, I got questions for you, so I got you. I got you. All right. So, my first question is, where are you from, and what do you call your hood?
Okay. I'm from a hood they call Agege in Lagos State. When they
Uh
say
huh.
Agege, the way it sounds, you gotta feel it as someone from there. And then anywhere I hear Agege, I'm
Mm-hmm.
Agege boy, born and brought up in Agege. I lived 20 years straight in Agege before I went to anywhere else. And I still go to Agege like 2 times a month, just to see my old man. To still see my friends, old friends on the street.
Mm-hmm.
So I still go to Agege once in a while. So that hood for me has played
Mm-hmm.
a big. a lot of things in my life, man. Yeah. So
Um, so you're in Nigeria, right?
yeah, I'm a Nigerian and I'm from
So what
Agege
is
State.
what how what's the closest I guess major city that close to?
What do you say?
What's the nearest city get is close to?
Oh, Agege is a town in Lagos. You know,
Oh,
the,
it's inside Lagos. Okay,
it's inside Lagos, so it's a town in Lagos. So
okay,
yeah, it's in Lagos.
all right. I think you're the second or third person I might talk to. So I just don't know the area. So how big is Lagos actually? How big is it? Would you say?
Um, Funny thing is, Lagos is not actually too big. It's just like there are so many activities happening in Lagos that it might take you, hours to go from the mainland to the island. Yeah,
Oh.
there's so many activities and it causes, traffic, you know, so a lot of stuff. So you and your friends can be living in Lagos and might not see each other for the next, 1 year, thinking of the stress to move from one place to another. So Lagos is a very busy place, like the
Hmm.
busiest in the whole of Nigeria. That's
Is it
Lagos.
is it so busy that can you still drive there, or it'd be easier to take like a bike or some kind of other transportation?
Oh, sometimes you're gonna be in traffic and you're gonna have you'll be envying guys that are taking bikes because you're stuck in the traffic, and sometimes for me it's just seasonal. You check your Google map before you leave home. If you need to take a car, you take the car. If you
Yeah.
don't need to, just find your way. So that's
Hmm.
majorly the stuff.
Okay. Okay.
Lagos is just, it's like Lagos is a metropolitan city, like different tribe, different people from all over the world, different food, different mentality. Lagos is just place of struggle, state of mind. So that's it.
Hmm. And when you say different food, when I think about that, I think it just everything's African food. So
Oh,
what's a different food for you when you see that?
I don't eat too much, but I love to eat local food, like pounded yam and egusi. We call that pounded yam in my own dialect. We call it inyo. You know, it's a very I wish everyone in the world can taste it. Not everyone
Yeah,
likes,
yeah. You the
but
second person. You the second person take talk about potted yam. So I gotta get me some potted yam. You the second person tell me I need to get it.
yeah, pounded yam with those local soup like egusi or efo, vegetables basically. It goes well with it. And then we have some things we call the street food. The street food, like we have bread and beans. That's our own African burger, or bread and we call this, I don't know what we call it in English, but we call it moi moi over here. Those are the quick snacks you can just see on the street, puff puff.
What that second one you said? What is that? Is that some kind of like vegetable thing, or is that meat? What is that?
The which of it
The
the
one you couldn't say in English.
oh, moi moi. It's made with beans. It's made with beans. Like, yeah, you gotta bake the beans. You gotta grind it. Then you put some ingredients. Then you bake it. Cook it till it's gonna get baked. And we eat it with bread. Put it in the middle of bread. That's our own African burger. So
Okay.
this is kind of street food. So we have different kind of food,
Is
different
it
kind
is
of.
it like you might I don't know if you have this word over there, but is it like hummus?
Yeah, homies.
Y'all have hummus over there?
I don't sure. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I won't lie to you. I'm not used to food outside African food, and it doesn't go well with me, man. Trust me. I find it very hard eating salad sometimes. I just got to develop the interest sooner or later
Mm-hmm.
because of places that I go to. But typical me, I don't go well with all this salad, cream stuff. You know, I don't go well with. I prefer my local stuff. It gives
Mm-hmm.
you the things you need, the essential things you need in the body,
Yeah,
and
when
they are
you
cheaper.
when you
Cheaper.
I think you just said cream, right? You said cream, correct?
Yeah,
So
Yeah,
like
cream.
that's dairy stuff like milk, right?
Yeah, jam. You know jam. You should know
Yeah,
jam now.
yeah, from grapes and strawberries and stuff. Yes.
Yeah, jam, all those stuff like that. Bama. I don't hate those stuff, man. I don't know why, but I don't fuck with those stuff. I just like it raw, like the
So
typical
so if
you
you
know,
if you don't if you don't do jam and jelly, what do you eat? What do you eat for breakfast?
breakfast. Every Nigerian household. This is like 70% of Nigerian household. With rice. Breakfast
Rice,
is rice. Is the most common food in fact in Nigeria. In Lagos State, is the most common food. We eat rice in the morning. If I don't eat rice, I can eat like toast. I can just toast the bread. Bread and tea. You know, bread and akara. There's bean cake. Yeah, they call it bean cake. Yeah. So stuff like that are what we eat in the morning for breakfast. Some people eat bread and butter. Bread and bama, bread and jam. They take those stuff, but I just don't fuck with them. You get.
okay, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Um, what what music artist or music style got you liking music or into music?
Okay. You know, when I was younger, I used to love Justin Bieber. Like,
Okay,
he was the guy. When I was in secondary school, you wanna hang out with the cool guys, move around with the ladies. You gotta be listening to Justin Bieber. You understand, bro? But as I grew up, uh, I tend to like, I listen to music, different music all over the world, even the one I don't understand what he's saying. I enjoy the Jamaican music. I enjoy Angelique Kidjo's music. She's not from my tribe, but I enjoy her music. So, but right now, it's Burna Boy for me. Right now,
Burna Boy. Okay, yeah, I like him.
my most favorite right now is Burna Boy. Burna Boy, is my favorite right now. It used to be Wizkid. I'm a big Wizkid fan. Now I'm still a Wizkid fan, but Burna Boy at the moment is just feeling that heart, a part of me.
So, in just this is like cultural comparison, would Wizkid be like Lil Wayne and Burna Boy be like Drake? Is that like the difference? Like Wizkid was there first, then like, Wayne's first, then
Yeah,
Wizkid been out a while. Now Burna Boy come out and he's hot now.
if I want to compare, if I want, um, I'm gonna be biased one way or the other if I want to make comparison. But let me just try not to be biased. Wizkid has this natural, he's a star boy, he's a born star. He's a born star. It's like Messi. Messi is a born star of football. That's the way Wizkid is. But you see, Burna Boy on the other side, he worked so hard from Port Harcourt City, break into Lagos, then push up on the ladder. Now he's so big. Man, he's so big. He has Joe Cole on his songs. He's featuring on the Dog songs. So that's it. That's just it. Some of them are doing good. I love both
So
of them.
Wizkid was more like Jay-Z over here.
Yeah, Wizkid is
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, cause I heard Wizkid like years ago. Like I knew he was over there, and he's probably like one of the few African artists I knew. Um, then I started hearing a couple more, but like within a year or so, maybe 2 years, I hear all this Afro beats.
Yeah.
Um, it
You
caught
must
my ear though because it sounds like reggae music or reggaeton.
yeah.
But then I discovered it is actually Afro beats and it's
Yeah.
African music, and I was like, oh, that's cool. So
Yeah.
like now I listen to Tim's, Burna Boy, and a couple other artists. Like
Yeah.
I'm putting people at work on them.
You're going big to the world, man.
Mm. Yeah, it's taking over. So um, is it so Afro beats? Is it a certain tribe or a certain place that's like like taking over it, or typically everybody over there has it their hand in Afrobeats?
Truth be told, I've had different definitions of Afrobeat from different people. But the thing is, I don't know. The sound I just listen to at the moment, the sound, the new wave of the sound is Afrobeat. You might sing it different way, differently in your own version, but at the end of the day, it's still Afrobeat, man. It's still Afrobeat.
Okay.
So,
All right. Well, comic books. So, what comic book or comic related TV show got you into comic books?
oh, you see, like the story of me getting into comic books is kind of weird. Like, let me share the story with you. Like, I haven't told anyone before, like live like this, but let me just share the story with you. Like when I was in I don't know what they call it over there, but it's primary four, primary three, primary four. That's what they call it, the educational level. I was so small, like maybe 6 or 7 years old, I think, because I was
Yeah,
so small.
they call it elementary school.
Yeah, elementary school. Yeah, exactly. So I didn't have access to games because my parents are ancient people. Not because they are bad, they're just ancient people. You know, they are not really used to digital stuff. So I don't have access to watch this kind of movie. But when in class, I listen to my classmates talk about Iron Man, talk about Fantastic Four, and stuff like that. And sometimes I discovered a station that used to show those stuff. So I started paying attention to the stations, and I'm always trying to watch those programs, the straight after the other. So from there, I had a friend. He owns a GTA game. I don't know what version of GTA was it then, but I know it was the very old one. So I used to go to his house, sneak to his house. I'll sit down, watch the game, the guy will be playing the game and stuff. I just told him, and the guy used to draw. I just told him one day, like, guy, uh, before then I used to have story written stories because this is something like a tradition in my family. My dad used to be a storyteller, you know. People used to my sisters used to write books when I was younger, so I used to read those books to pass time. So the guy used to draw those things from the GTA. He used to draw those characters. I was like, guy, can we use this to
Mm-hmm.
make a story? I was like, you can give it a try. His name is Dennis, Tosho Dennis. And we made our first comic, Ant Man. That was not this Ant Man, like if this one was very far way back. So we made our first comic, we named it Ant Man. We used the concept of Spider
Mm-hmm.
Man. Children concept now, like the ant beat me, I became Ant Man, stuff like that. People loved it in the class. We started having few other people started drawing. Then after that time, we left elementary school. We moved into higher class. Then we got splitted. It's just me again. So all I just do is I just draft the stories and all. So I met a guy, which is my first partner. I met him when I was in junior secondary school, class two. So I met him. His name is Sumbo,
Mm-hmm.
and that was how the first meaning of SM was Sumbo Malik, because that's Malik is from my name, Sumbo is from his name. That was the first meaning of SM, Sumbo Malik. So we partnered and made the Bio Warrior and some other comics. Then we didn't know about print. All we do is we photocopy it a lot, and then it tells me where to color. So we took it home as an assignment to do colors and bring it back. From there, a lot of people started getting interest in it. My school started having issues with us drawing in class, stuff like that. Got us into a lot of troubles. They had to call our parents. I remember then, that my partner's dad had to stop him from drawing, which is a very, very painful thing at that particular time, for even for me. So I just forgot about comics. Years later, I went into higher institution. I'm done. I went to do there's something we do after investing here in Nigeria. We call it NYSC, whereby you go and serve the state for a year. So I went to Jigawa State, all the way from Lagos. I was posted to Jigawa State to be a teacher. So I met a friend of mine, Mona, the guy that changed the love, that opened my eye to the industry. So Mona saw my works. Me and Mona became friends through discussion of Naruto. Guy, have you watched Naruto? I'm an anime guy. Oh wow. So we Naruto and stuff like that. And I never see anyone win me in a Naruto argument. That this guy won me. Because this guy had episodes I've not watched. I was like, wow. So we became good friends. And I told him I do make, like, I do create comics and all. And the guy looked at the comic sample that I had since secondary school. I sent it all over. My mom sent it all over from Lagos, and I showed the guy. The guy was like, our comics was in black and white. The guy was like, you can color this and put it on the website for us. Yeah, people can. I was like, wow, really? Is it that easy? He said I should give him 1 week. He said I had to pay a certain amount of money. I said, okay, no problem. I was young, I didn't have work, but I just got out one way or the other. I paid the guy, and the guy brought out the not the best work. Like looking back at it, not the best work, but that then I was like, what the fuck? Wow, it be like this. And the guy gave me a link where you can download it. Man, I was like, wow. And the guy was like, it's from Lagos too. That whenever I come to Lagos, we should hang out. So I came to Lagos, and he introduced me to Lagos Comic Con. That was like 2016. He introduced me to Lagos Comic Con. I was like, so there's an industry for this? And then I could not imagine, I could not believe it. Like, I've been trying to do something like this for a long time without ever seeing anyone doing it before. And now I see there's an industry for it. So I went to my first Comic Con 2016, and I met Comic Republic. They are one of the biggest in Africa till now. Comic Republic, I met them. I met Osa Seven, Adara. I listened to them, and their speech inspired something in me. Like I was like, man, I got to do this. I'm doing this. So me and that other guy, I see him as a big asset. So we partnered together. I call him my old partner, guy, you still up for this? Let's do something. We got one more artist and we started doing things. And that was how FM started fully.
Mhm.
That was how we started doing comics from then till now.
Okay,
So
okay. Um, um, that comic convention. Like I said, I talked to other guests from Nigeria. So that thing you went in 2016, that was still a new thing though, right? It was still still new. It hasn't been out that long, right?
yeah, 2016, I think Comic Republic did. I think Lagos Comic Con. This one we did this year. I think it should be the 11th edition. I think so. 2016 should be. I don't know. Should be about
The fourth or fifth one.
yeah, kind of. So it's not too
Yeah.
big. We're still pulling off something big. So
Hmm.
yeah.
That's cool. We go into some more of that in my next segment, but to finish this segment off, uh, I heard you talk about you was drawing stuff and doing heard your friends talking about Ant-Man and watching Naruto. So growing up, when did you find out that you was a nerd?
Oh, I think from a very young age, I did find out because whenever I would go out with my friends or my brothers, my family is a very big family, like a very, very big family. I have so many brothers. So whenever I would go out there then to my brothers and we're about to get into trouble for coming back late, I just tell them, oh, don't worry. I know what to say. I just need to I just need to paint a scenario in my head. Like it's more of like doing a comic. Like just create something, a concept in your head that fits in the situation, and everyone's gonna be okay. Win-win for everyone. And so since then, I like and my dad used to be a storyteller. My dad is very good at storytelling, and he has a very good memory. So I think most of these things just can be inherited from him too.
Okay, oh, that's cool. That's cool. Um, Going to my next segment. It's called the hotkeys. It's a double meaning term. Like for music, DJs will have buttons on their turntable to press to cue up music and sound to get people turned up or get excited in the parties. As well in comics, it's key issues where a new writer, a new artist get on a project, or a character get introduced, or a new villain, or nowadays a storyline get produced into a TV show or movie. And you want to grab that issue because you'd be worth some money.
Yeah.
So this part of the show is questions that I asked you earlier, or questions that I thought of while we are doing the interview. So people can highlight certain things in this interview and take with them. They know these are the key points in the interview. So we're gonna go hit those topics now. All right.
Okay.
All
Yeah.
right. So the first thing I want to ask you is um your come up in comments had to do a lot of collaboration and networking. So
Definitely.
since what 2016, uh how important do you feel is that in the comic book industry?
How important do I feel what?
How important do you feel is collaboration and networking in the comic book industry?
You know, the comic book industry, same as every creativity industry, has to build on the rock of collaboration and foundation. Has to build a foundation on the rock of collaboration and networking. I've seen this work in the music industry. I've seen this work in the there's an industry here we call it the skit makers industry. People that does funny things, not more like comedy, but they act it up. We've seen this work in the comedy industry. So why not? Why won't it work in the comic industry? We need collaborations. Collaborations help. In most cases, will help the youngsters that are just coming up because when you're able to collaborate with a big company, it brings the youngster from the shadows up into the limelight. So collaboration and networking. I myself, it has been an important role in my company because now we've exhibited for 2 years straight. In Comic Cons nationwide, 2 years straight now, and then it has been all about collaboration, networking. You know, so I think it's very essential, highly important.
Okay. Um, with that collaboration, it comes with other things in the comic book industry. And one of the things that you brought up was uh being a comic book creator versus being a publisher,
Yeah,
and that requires networking. So how do you know which one's for you and which one's not, or what's the difference between the two?
yeah. Thank you. Being a publisher, you have to work on more than one comic, like more than one of your one of more than a comic. Like you have, it takes different comics by different creators to be published to have a publishing system. What I mean by publishing system, you see, when I started SM, I started as a creator. Like I just want to create comics. You know, the moment I start having more creators on board, bringing in more comics, I discovered this is not just a comic creation venture again. It's now a publishing venture because I have more comic books to deal with. And when you're having more than one title at the same time, you have to be working on the publishing standard. When you're having just a title to push, a title or two, you can work as a creator, just a comic creator. You can do self-publishing to evolving into the comic creating can evolve into self-publishing. But when you have like 10 titles, 20 titles, 40 titles to handle, you have to be working on the publishing level. You have to think of pushing out the best titles you have. You have to think of thinking of competitive system amongst the comic titles that you have on board. So the comics just be struggling with each other to push up each other because when there is competitive among the comics, they will keep evolving to be at their best. This will make the creators of each of those comics to always want to put head, to always want to push in more effort. You see, everything has their pros and cons. You understand? Everything has their pros and cons. But at this level of comic we are, you see, Marvel is established, DC is established. These are works of different creators that came to form a publishing firm. They might have not gone that far if it was just work of someone. And when we talk about publishing firm, it's not just about one person. You have the creator, you have the media person, you have the publicity person, you have most creators do all these things by themselves. And I feel like, it makes you deviate the energy you're supposed to put in into creating. You are sharing the energy for other things. But when you employ like a media person, you employ this, you are no more just working as a creator anymore. You're already on a publishing, like you're already an established company doing publishing already. Because you can't be working more on just one title like that. You'll be tempted to do more other things. So that's just what I feel. And people need to recognize this. Some people they are starting as comic creator, but they are working like a publishing firm. It drains a lot of energy. Like some things are not relevant to the comic creators, but they're bringing it to the comic creators because they don't have the understanding of, oh, I'm a comic creator. These are the things I need to do. Publishing, stuff like that. So I feel you need to understand your niche and what you are in the comic industry for. To really play a
All right.
great role.
All right. So, uh, if a creator is doing all that themselves, when do you know? Okay, now I need to hire somebody else to do my publishing and my media stuff versus me doing all of it myself. When would I know to do that?
You know when you know you have to do that when you can't keep on the consistency for at least like a 1 week straight. Let's say for instance you're disciplined that I want to be making social media posts every day for the next 100 days, like about my stuff. And if you're making the social media post, yeah, you've been you won't be getting complaints so much, just few complaints, few likes, you know. When it gets getting to a stage whereby there are so many messages, you're overwhelmed with it, and you still have to create, then you should know at this time you need to employ someone to manage that part of the career for you, especially when your stuff has started bringing in money. To maximize this efficiency, you need someone to bring on board to handle the other side. So you face the creativity thing, and the person will be doing the full thinking of the marketing fully.
Okay.
So yeah,
Um. So yourself, are you a comic book writer and artist, or are you just an artist?
I'm a writer, I'm a creator. Yeah,
All
I
right.
don't draw,
So
but
you
I
don't you
work with
don't
art.
draw?
Yeah, I don't draw, but I work with
Okay.
art to bring out the best in what I want.
All right. So when you was just you and your partner
Yeah,
doing a comic book, so now you're a publisher, correct?
yeah,
So being a publisher, did it slow down you making your own book, or are you still doing it consistently?
yeah. I didn't know the difference between being creator and a publisher at first, and this is why I had to move into this publisher state, and I had to double up to
Mm-hmm.
be to maintain it because I started as a comic creator to just one comic. Then I started working on different titles at the same time. Now in my catalog, I already have like 10 titles. How do I keep up with this? I have to switch into the publishing state. And now that's the reason why I have an app. I have an SM Comics app on Play Store. So all my comics is in the app on Play Store. So the
Okay.
best comics with the best reviews are the ones I'm publishing out, putting more energy on as selling because they have selling point at those moments. You understand?
Okay.
So the ones
Yes.
with the best reviews are the ones you see with us on our stands at the Comic Cons and all.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um. So I'm gonna say a whole bunch of things at one time. Um. So I listen to a lot of podcasts. Well, anyway, and sometimes people come on, they talk about Africa and Nigeria, Ghana, and stuff like that,
Yeah.
and how kind of y'all more advanced than we are in America. So that being said, I talked to another creator, and they said they don't really produce or read physical comic books. They do more digital, and he has an app for his books, or he reads comic books on the apps. Now you just told me you have an app for your comic books, but previously you said when you're younger you want to make physical books for your comics.
Yeah.
So now since you got your publishing company, do you still do physical books, or you put everything on the app?
I have a lot of physical books. It's one of my physical books.
Okay.
Yeah, I have several physical books that I work with. Yes, and you can see.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I have lots of physical books produced. I
Now,
still feel
so
need
see,
for.
so he said it's hard to do physical books, and he just went digital. Now you showed me physical books, so is it really the publisher if you putting out physical books, or how do y'all consume y'all comic books in Nigeria?
Yeah, what I see, the challenges a lot of publishers face is the fund, to produce these books. It's a bad idea, no. Actually, it's the fund. And I can tell you for free, if you have books, I sell this book for 8,000 naira. 8,000 naira isn't a cheap price,
Or
but
how much that in American dollars?
8,000 naira right now is about $10, I think,
Oh, that ain't bad.
or a little bit more, or a little bit less because of the exchange
Yeah,
rate.
yeah,
So
that ain't bad.
yeah, the thing is, first of all, is the cost. A lot of people are not willing to invest in production of books because they are feeling like they might not sell. They are feeling like they don't have a marketing strategy. Let me just put it like that. They don't know what to do after the production of those books. If 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 they know what to do after the production of those books, they will see comic books is just as any commodity in the market that can be sold if you have a proper strategy to sell it. Although it still baffles me that I go out to events and I hear people saying they don't know Nigerians are making comics. That means the awareness is not even enough. So you might not know until you try. So I feel like as there is a need for digital books, there's a need as a need for digital comic books, the comics. There's essential need for book like comic book hard copy. Because it's very important because you are going to a school. In fact, in Africa and Nigeria, we are still more in the manuscript world than the digital, unlike the America. In America now, to the bus pass, everything, mostly what they do is cashless, less paper, more digital. In Africa, we are still more on digital. You want to sign an agreement to someone, you have to have hard copy. You want to do anything with somebody, you have to have the hard copy. So we are still on that level. So people tend to feel they won't sell when they do these books, but no, they can always sell. So I see it's very important too, as much as digital is important. They are
Okay.
both.
Um. Uh. Getting the app for your publishing, was that hard to do, or it was like something quick and easy that it was easy to get an app running?
Everything I've done in SM was with the help of good friends, childhood friends. It's
Hmm.
usually expensive, but my friends always find a way to give me very good discounts. You know, most times they don't even take money for their labor. They just take money for the essential things to get things done.
Okay,
So
that's good.
yeah, I've had a lot of good of help from good friends. So that's it.
Uh, you must I don't know you have this term in over there, but you must have good a lot of goodwill that people would do stuff for you like that.
Yeah, exactly. Like my creators. Before I even started creating my own comic books, I was putting effort in my creators' books. Before I even start putting effort in my own books, the first capital for my company, I was pushing someone else's books. And that's to show how selfless I am about this. It's not all about the money, it's all about we pushing the company, pushing those comic books, getting our own audience and community field. And that's what's important. Once we get that, we'll be able to tell our story in the best way possible.
Um, Previously you said you was a teacher. Oh, you just going to school to be a teacher? Now, are you still a teacher?
No, I just did the teaching job for to serve my state,
Okay.
and so I'm not a teacher.
So are you a full time publisher now?
Not a full time. I take contracts from some other jobs outside publishing.
No,
You
but
know,
you're full time comics though.
yeah, most of my time I do comics.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. What's some of the titles that you published? What are they? What are their names and what are they about?
yeah. Detective D. That's my first character. Detective D is more like Captain America. Like I call him the first super African super soldier. Like first enhanced African soldier. Detective D has several series. The first series is Detective D: The Origin. I did like the way they do Wolverine, X Men. X Men has different shades of the story, so that's the way Detective D is. I have Detective D: The Origin, which speaks about the origin of Detective D. I have the Adventure of Detective D, which speaks about his adventure after he breaks out of the company that created him and her. He joined the police and started working undercover as a detective. Then the last one was when he was old. He had a daughter, Demon Steel. That's another story on entirely, but he's featuring in the story. And I'm working with my team on an animation that features a timing between when he left the company that created him and before he joined the police to become an undercover. What happened between the time? So we're working on an animation for something like that. So yeah, that's Detective D. And I'm working on one story with my boy, with my little son, Jawa and friends. Like I'm bringing him into the world from day one. Things I've learned
Yeah.
about his characters and little things I know about him so far. I'm bringing all these things into a comic, and that's giving them an investment in the company too. So, Jawa and friend, it's gonna be dropping December. I'm working on another comic they call The Door of No Return. The Door of No Return is like an imaginary story of slavery and of how slavery started by we betraying our own self, selling our own self, our own brothers out to the slave masters. So I just want to capture a little bit about that. So I'm working on that, The Door of No Return. I'm working on a love story too, Love Poison. I'm not that much of a lover guy, but I'm trying to put out something you know, about the way love story is transactional in the community of Lagos. Because I won't lie to you, you want a girl, it's transactional, highly
Yeah.
transactional. It's all about your cash. So I want to put some of those experiences, you know, into the it. I'm working on another one we call the Lagos Big Boy. So I want to talk about how the struggles it is to get it. How people join different society just because of the riches and all. So I have a lot of things coming up on the app. So can just watch out for it.
Okay. Okay. Some dope titles and concepts. I dig it.
Yeah,
Um.
I have comics from my other creators. I have other creators that are bringing their comics to SM like Afro Ninja. We have Lakaye. We have Bloomed. You know we have some story about the farm methodology. Farm methodology is like a whole thing, and that thing in Africa that I want to talk about, using comics. So you have a lot coming up on the app.
Okay. All right. What's the name of the app?
SM Comics.
SM Comics. Okay. And so, what is that? Your publisher company as well?
Yeah,
What
that
is
SM.
is SM your name?
SM means sign musée.
All right. What does that mean?
Sign the musée. Musée means musée is the singular of museum. So sign museum, like we believe African stories is significant. I want to preserve them, and so we take ourselves as like a digital museum, kind of. So we want to
Okay.
preserve these stories and give them value through comics and animation. And this is our mission.
Okay. Speaking of animation, how do you feel about AI?
Wow, AI. You know, when I talk about AI, artists tend to see me as because I don't draw. and that's why I talk in favor of AI. But the thing is, as a concept creator, AI is going to help me a lot. AI is not going to give me the finished product I want, but it's going to help me give a clear idea of what I want to the artist that's going to bring out my work. You understand? AI is going to save me the stress of storyboarding and a lot of other things. People stop complaining AI has some hands are not good, the proportioning. Yeah, but we need to understand that AI is still in developing state and it's gonna evolve. It's gonna evolve. Those accuracy is gonna come, consistency is gonna be there. It's gonna evolve. So instead of people condemning AI, they should start embracing it. It's just like the era there when when farmers use cutlass and hoe, and then they introduced tractor, and people were saying tractor are gonna take our jobs. Oh, tractors can only take those jobs if those farmers refuse to learn how to use the tractors.
Yeah, that's right.
But a farmer that learns how to use the tractor is going to be better with the tractors than even the person that doesn't learn it. Because if he was a farmer, he will have more technicalities about the use of the tractor than even the normal person that is using it. So I feel like artists can use the AI better even than we. It's a tools for the artist, just like digital tools that they use. So far, an artist that been using digital tools, then definitely AI is the involvement, is the evolution of digital tools. It's like the life being put into digital tools,
Mhm.
and we have access to unlimited reference using AI, unlimited reference. So I think it's a very good. It's something we should embrace because sooner or later it's here to stay, man.
Yeah. I mean, and it's funny people complain about it so much, but like, you're not an artist, but you probably familiar, like for using Photoshop or something like that.
Yeah,
Photoshop mimics the different pens and markers and brushes. That's
yeah,
AI.
that's
Um,
AI.
yeah. If you're doing, you're not an artist, like so, like on the program I use, you can draw, and if you draw a certain way, it will connect the lines for you. So like my art, I'm not an artist, but I can draw. I like to
Yeah,
draw like I hope when I'm doing my pencils, I like doing like a whole bunch of lines, and then when I do my ink, I go over them lines. But my
yeah,
initial, I do like little streaks. But with Photoshop, I can do those little lines, and Photoshop will make that little lines I did one big
yeah.
line
Give
by
it
itself.
straight. Yeah.
Yep, and because they
So
know.
these are AI.
Yeah.
So it's
Um.
here to stay. We got to
Yeah.
embrace it.
And I use AI a couple times talking to foreign artists. They it's language barrier. They don't know what I'm talking about. Like the green
Yeah.
box thing. You wouldn't know what the green box was. So I can type in AI, have somebody
It
chill on the green
translate it.
box and they'll make it. And I can show you.
Yeah.
You'd be like, oh, yeah, yeah,
Exactly. That's what you're saying.
yeah.
AI
Yeah.
makes a lot of things easy. You can work with other artists without understanding their language. AI is gonna make things easy. AI is here
Hmm.
to stay, man. It's here to stay.
Yeah. Only thing, the art, I can understand the purpose for it, but what gets me is when they're using somebody else's voice, or when they're I say write a script like George Lucas. I
Yeah.
think that's like too much. That this AI is doing too much, because that's
Yeah.
stealing. That's
You know,
stealing.
I think we humans needs to work on some restrictions. You know, like the way there's intellectual legal system. There have to be a legal system for the use of AI, and hopefully that's gonna come up with time.
Hmm. Yeah. Um. And what you think about the future of comics? How you see comics going forward? Because people say mangas, taking over, but how do you feel about comic books?
Well, I say, you know, a lot of Americans now diverting into mangas. You can feel the styles in the animation and comics. You
Hmm.
know, even in the concept building. In fact, it's not even just comics in the whole creative industry entirely. You can see Asian's pattern coming in. But I say it's gonna be highly competitive soon because we have Africans coming in with their own kind of styles, that is different from animation, that is different from anime, manga, and all. So I feel it's gonna be just be competitive soon. It can't just be manga forever. It has always been American style before. Now manga is here. So the ball keeps changing. So that's it.
Um, like you see like you see Afro beats, is big, going big, and
Yeah.
Nigerian stories are becoming big now. So what do you think nowadays? Wait, how far you think a Nigerian company or Nigerian store will be big, around the world, and just not?
Nigerian stories around the world is gonna get bigger because we have the likes of Uyo Kukwe, doing good job um in the industry with his crafts. Yeah, I don't know, maybe you know Uyo Kukwe of Unique Studios.
Yes, I
You
know.
Yeah, yeah, you can see him going worldwide with his craft, and that's a Nigerian company. I can talk about Commotion Studios. They had, um, you know, they've had a lot of fundraisings for their projects. I can talk of Ethan Comics from Ethiopia. I think they're always sold out on their Kickstarter. They're always all backed up on their Kickstarter campaign and stuff. So African companies are really gonna thrive. The fear I'm having is this. You can see the Afrobeat industry. You can see most of them has been bought by these foreign companies. Like most of their deals are like, before they can blow up, they have to partner with someone abroad. And this is the mentality that has helped a lot of people in the Afrobeat. And which I'm saying that this is where the comics is gonna go to. You can see Kugali partnering with I don't know, with I don't know. Is it Cartoon Network to
Yeah,
release their
Warner Brothers. Yeah, Warner Brothers. Yeah.
yeah,
Top,
to win their to produce the animation. You can see Unique Studio how to partner with Darkos for distribution. You can see stuff like that. So I've tried to partner with people like that too. Like I've written to Diamond Comics, I've written to Godwood Comics, I've written to some other people. But what I discover at the end of it is that we can't keep walking up to these guys. We have to just create an environment for our own audience here in Nigeria, and that's the reason why I don't support totally moving my brand away from Nigeria. I can actually go for global exploration and all, try to do collaboration outside, but I will never leave making comics in Africa. We shouldn't do that. We should always do something in Africa. While we're pursuing our dreams over there, we should always make a version for our own self. And you see, so that's just the only thing I say about it. But definitely, African companies are thriving worldwide.
okay. Okay. Um. Yeah, I forgot my question, but that's man, that's all. I have one more question. I can't think, but yeah, that's all I got.
It's
Really?
like it's like okay, I'm with
Um,
you.
how hard it? Okay, you said those companies was doing Kickstarters, and I heard it's hard to do Kickstarters in Africa or Nigeria. So how they able to sell out when I heard it's
Yeah,
like real hard.
yeah. What most of them do is that they have partners abroad, and this is the why it's very essential you have a partner in another country whereby you can have access to all these things like Kickstarter, Patreon, and also you know one of my creators like my operation officers just traveled out not too long, relocated to another country, and we're working on bringing our stuff to Kickstarter now because we couldn't do them while it was here. We tried our best, but we keep getting bounced back. A certain level they were gonna ask for some things. There was a time we wanna put our comics on platforms like Draft Digital, Amazon, Publish for Drive, all these platforms that help you broadcast your book, all over the US, put them in all these stores, Nobles and Barnes, and all those stuff like that. You know, we are always having a complication one way or the other. And these are the things that I feel like we should work on as Africans. These are the things whereby we should work on. Like I'm actually working on a platform that's gonna be like Upwork. I call it the smart work platform. Like it's gonna be strictly African artists that's gonna be on there, whereby it's gonna be a trusted platform, because when I can create the name to be a trusted name, it's gonna eradicate these art thieves issues that we have all around that's painting us bad. Once people come to the platform, they know every artist that are on the platform are up to standard. The artists with reputation that just want to do what they do for their passion and not just here to steal people's money. So initiatives like that, we need more of them to bring in trusted investors to invest in our people and our craft.
Okay, okay, that's dope. Yeah, it sounds like a great idea. So yeah, like I said, talk like creators. They say it's so hard. It's even so hard, even if you get the Kickstarter, to get to receive the money from the Kickstarter is even
For
harder.
real. For
Yeah.
real. So it's just that's the reason why most people are just going out. And this stuff are affecting we the we the creators, comic creators in Nigeria. Do you know why it's affecting us? It's affecting us because people from America gives most of our illustrators, our colorists work. They pay them in little dollar because to them it's little dollar. They can't pay someone of that standard the same amount in America, but they will come down to us to pay the cheap amounts to us. This cheap amount is so big here because of the exchange rates. And so when me, a publisher living in Nigeria, wants to give a colorist work in the same Nigeria, they tend to give me the price they giving to the Americans. And sometimes it's always way too biggest for me to pay, judging by me using my market analysis. It's always sometimes very hard for me to pay. All these stuffs are the things that are affecting us here in Nigeria. So if I'm to tell you, I'm to tell you if I'm a illustrator in Nigeria, I tend to charge them more because it's a foreign work. I'm a foreigner to them. So they want to hire an expert as a foreigner. They have to pay me more, not pay me less. And these are the things that I tell my colleagues in the industry. We have to give ourselves a standard, whereby when it's not when we give ourselves a standard, somebody will go behind us to go and take the work for no, we have to have integrity to with what we're doing. And this is what this is the culture I want to put into the production of that smart work platform that I'm talking to you about.
Okay.
So we have to give African creative standard all over the world.
Okay. Yeah, I understand. Understand. Uh, when you said the work, so like I know the prices I've seen, you know, people pay or I have paid Nigerian artists for work is like $40 or $60 American money. Uh, so I probably didn't comprehend what you said, but how much would you pay a Nigerian artist? You pay them like more than that or the same? And I would pay them.
Definitely, I don't know how much you pay them, but I'm expected to pay less.
So you pay a Nigerian less money than I would pay you.
Yeah, because this is a Nigerian to a Nigerian. You paying him, you have to pay him more because you are seeking him as a foreign expert. You know, when I see Indians come to Nigeria to work, they actually get more money. They actually paid more. They actually get more pay because than Nigerians working in Nigeria because they are foreign experts
Mm-hmm.
that came to work in it. So you guys, you Americans seeking a foreign expert should pay more definitely. Now it boils down to the artist to be able to recognize this is a Nigerian. Let me give him a Nigerian price. Then this is an American. I'll give him a foreign price. Because even Nigeria to Cotonou, Benin Republic here, is a lesser distance than Nigeria to Ibadan, than Lagos to Ibadan. Lagos to Benin Republic is a lesser distance than Lagos to Ibadan. but you pay more to cross goods from Lagos to Ibadan because from Lagos to Benin Republic because you are crossing a border of a country. It will be cheaper taking that into a longer distance in Lagos. So Nigerians illustration thus needs to understand how pricing works. And I usually advise them they should have a Nigerian local pricing for their products and a foreign pricing for their products. So they can always make impact in foreign or in local creative local creative productions too. As they are making impact in foreign productions too. It's not all about the money sometimes.
Yeah.
It's about
So
the
yeah,
impact.
that makes sense because like you said, Americans think it's a little bit of money, whatever. So I paid a $40 or $60 American, but um, they might say, "Oh, I used my friend. Me and my friend worked on it." And I was like, "Oh man, you splitting your money up." But like you said, I'm probably getting charged more, and I don't know. And he can split the money up and give it to his friends, so they both can get money. And I don't know the difference. I just think he's just doing it for less, but he has to helping somebody else out over Nigeria as well.
Yeah, this we call them middlemen in Nigeria. These people that I get a job. This is a normal culture within Nigeria. I got a house. I want to put the house for rent. Another person will just come. Oh, I got someone that want to rent. Okay, moving. You're gonna take my commission. In fact, in Nigeria, it is not. It is legal for the person that is bringing you rent. Someone that wants to come and rent your house is gonna take commission from the person. You understand what I'm trying to say? So it's
Yeah.
almost it's just like a culture. And these
Okay.
things, do you know what this thing is gonna cost? It's gonna increase the pricing of work of arts without increasing the standard of the artist. Because now the art is supposed to cost $40 on a normal day, but because I'm collecting it, I'm giving it to my friend, I'm taking it for $50. When it comes, I give my friend $35. Now the artist is not getting the value, the full value of his work. You understand? So the artist will be putting in work of this standard and be getting of this standard and be getting paid of this standard. And that's the effect.
Oh, okay. Um, and it's funny you say, "Oh, he's a Nigerian, so I get him a cheaper rate." But it's funny in America. I feel like the Americans charge Americans more money, and like, cause I done some Americans they done shot me like astronomical prices. Like I'm like, come on, like
Yeah,
it's just
yeah.
crazy. Like
That, 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 that's how it should be. Americans, you see Americans charging you more money because of your standard of living in America. Now you coming to pay African less money. It's not nice.
yeah,
Instead of paying them less money, pay them at least of a standard of what you're gonna pay in America. Not the biggest standard, but at least something fair, something very fair on us. So that's it. That's why an artist needs to know his craft, needs to know the pricing of their work and stuff like that before taking commissions.
yeah, that's right. All right, man. That's the
Oh, sorry.
that
Let me. I want to give an example of what I just said now
okay.
in the easiest way possible. If I'm traveling to America to study, don't you think I'm gonna pay more coming from Nigeria?
Yeah,
I'm gonna pay more. So that's how it should be. So if you
yeah.
coming here to study, you should pay more too.
Um, and speaking of studying, in America, I live in Georgia, as the state of America, and we have a scholarship program called the Hope Scholarship. So only people who live in Georgia who go to college can get that scholarship. Now, if you're from a
Okay.
different state, you don't get that scholarship.
Yeah, exactly. So when it's doing it for the local, yeah, it has to be cheaper than when it's doing it for outsider. So that's
Yeah.
it.
All right. Well, that's the end of that segment, man. That was a good segment. So I finna roll to my last segment of the show. It's called
Okay.
digging. It's called digging in the crates, which is also
Okay.
another double meaning term. In comics, you get the physical copies. You want to dig in the crates to find that old Spider-Man, Ant-Man comic book. You know, you had when you was a kid, or you in like an old record store, CD store. You're looking for some old Justin Bieber songs or something like that. You want to
Yeah.
collect. So I'm finna dig through this interview and pull out something for the people live off of something. And I'm finna go back and saying about how you went from a creator to being a publisher, right?
Yeah.
Let's say one of the big two, Marvel or DC, they see how you work at your company and they want to hire you on to their company. Uh, which company would you pick, and what stories would you try to write for?
Okay. When it comes to comic books, um, I do love. I like. When it comes to comic books, superheroes. I love DC.
Okay.
I love DC. The way DC paints their superheroes, the way they make them. But when it comes to comic stories, I think I like Marvel.
Okay.
Yeah,
All
I
right.
love
Wait,
Marvel
wait.
because
And what Marvel
Spider,
hero? What Spider Man? Okay.
yeah, it's still my best of all time. Marvel, Spider Man.
Mm-hmm. And you'll write for Spider Man. That'll be the character you write for.
Yeah, no, no, no. If I was gonna write for them, oh, I think I'm gonna write one of my own, which is Detective D. I think I'm
Okay.
gonna write a story like about Detective D, maybe featuring crossover with some of their characters. Spider Man would be actually nice. Detective D and Spider Man, it's gonna
So
be a really nice
so
combination.
all right. Just how you describe your character. So I see him working with like Daredevil and
Yeah,
uh
Daredevil.
even Captain America.
Yeah, he could work with Captain America. He could work with Daredevil. Another thing that inspired Detective D was Batman. You know, I love the fact that Batman is a kind of character that he can act alone and can execute his plan without the need for any other. I don't know, maybe you get what I'm trying to say. He's not too he's not too powerful, but he can execute um his mission tactically without having to use a lot of you know light laser, stuff like that. And I liked the character to be ordinary but extraordinary, something like that. If that makes sense.
Okay. So how do you feel about Black Panther?
Hmm. Well, I love the action and everything related to Black Panther, but I don't. I feel like the story doesn't represent Africa totally. The Black Panther story was nice, but I don't see the full representation of Africa. Full
Yeah,
representation of
okay.
Africa. I feel like they could have done better. They could have done better. Like, I don't know, maybe there's African writers on the crew, but I feel like whenever they want to produce something like that, they should bring in the Africans that lived in Africans on board, so as to get some kind of representation of who we actually are. You know, well, you can't talk about African without talking about African gods, without talking about African food. It's not about the technology. There are other things that makes Africa who African is, that needs to be talked about. So the story was for the Africans, so I feel like they should do better in the representation. But the production was amazing.
Okay, okay. All right, man. That's the end of my show. If people want to support you, follow you, get any of your books, where can they do that at?
Yeah, you want to support me? You want to follow any of my comic books, comic titles? You gotta download the SM Comics app. SM Comics app is for free to download, and you have free comics on the app. But to subscribe to the premium, which we enable you to have access to all our exclusive content, is just 1,000 naira in Nigerian currency, and that should be about $1.50 or so in American currency. So you have access to all our comics for the month, all exclusive comics for the month. So, and we have the yearly package, which is more cheaper. So I think that's the best way. Yeah, you can support me right now, and they should stay tuned because SM Comics is coming to America soon. So they should
Okay.
stay tuned. Yeah, they should stay
All right.
tuned.
Are y'all on social media?
Yeah, SM Comics Ninja on social media. SM then Comics with the S, then Ninja, Naija. SM Comics Ninja. Yeah,
All right. All right, man.
we have
It's
to
been
put the
fun, man.
Ninja
Great
there
talking to
because
you, man.
Ninja boy they carry
That's it.
last. That's the slang.
I don't care what Specks said, man. It's cold and raining out there. Ain't nobody got time for that. But I do got time for it to tell y'all to go to SM Comics app and get that and support Cameo, man. Support him. Don't get that free version. Get that one that costs $1 and check out his books. Great comics, great African comics. Y'all check it out. And you want to check out some more comics, check out LegacyView.com for my books. And follow me at LegacyView on all social media. If you want to follow my co-host, you can follow Specks at Specks706. You want to be on the show, hit us up at ChillOnTheGreenBox on social media or email us at chillonthegreenbox@gmail.com. I'm out.